This is SEC Media Days on Alabama News Network. Brought to you by Alpha Insurance, Guardian Credit Union, Ford, and Hardee's.
Day 3 of the SEC Media Day started bright and early for the Crimson Tide faithful. They were here at least at 6 o'clock in the morning in the lobby waiting on Coach Nick Saban and his Crimson Tide football players. And when Coach Saban and company arrived, they were very, very happy to see their Crimson Tide football team. Good evening, everyone. I'm Mo Carter along with sports analyst John Longshore, and this is SEC Media Days live from inside the Winfrey Hotel in Hoover, Alabama. Of course, today was a big day for Alabama, and as we saw, John, the fans enjoyed seeing the Crimson Tide.
Well, they really did, Mo. When Nick Saban and the Tide shows up, the fans show up as well. But we also had some other schools that were very interesting to hear from, obviously Kentucky, Missouri, and of course we also heard from so many others throughout the week. Hard to believe we only have 3 more schools that we're going to hear from, and that's all tomorrow.
Exactly. Well, let's knock out 4 schools tonight, everyone. Let's tell you what's on tap tonight. Of course, it was a Crimson Tide takeover today on day 3 of the SEC Media Days. We'll check in with the Crimson Tide in just a short moment. Plus, we will see if Missouri could three-peat in the SEC East. Could it be better years for both Arkansas and Kentucky? And don't forget, we've got our special sports guest of the night. Now, John, what did you learn from the Crimson Tide after listening to them today at Media Days?
Well, Mo, one thing I learned that I didn't think we'd hear was complaining by Nick Saban. Remember a couple of years ago, it was the hurry-up, no-huddle offense that Saban was complaining about. Today, it was draft status reports from the NFL and how that distracted some of his players. Hey, Coach, every other team that was participating in the playoff, they got draft status reports as well.
Correct.
Just seeing and hearing Nick Saban complain about outside of things that are affecting his football team. Coach, that's why you're the highest paid football coach in college football, to make sure things like that don't happen. And also, when you hear players like Reggie Ragland and Kenyon Drake say, teams are not afraid to play us anymore. Those aren't good signs coming out of the Alabama camp.
There's definitely not a good sign about that one, and I'm glad you mentioned that. Through the years, it seems like the critics are saying that people aren't fearing Alabama anymore and their head coach, Nick Saban. Now, when it comes to Coach Saban, a lot of people are kind of doubting him here, there, everywhere, or whatnot. We're not going to throw out any names, but Kenyon Drake, his senior running back, says it's still the same old Coach Saban, and he runs his practice the same old Coach Saban way.
It's crazy how, Coach Saban really has a lot of patience for a lot of the players on the team, and I can really attest for that. And it definitely goes back to how of a person Coach Saban is, because there's a lot of situations, especially on the team, where in the other place, a player would probably be dismissed, but Coach Saban really takes players under his wings because he understands that nobody's perfect. So the opportunities that you get to come here to the University of Alabama, can't be matched, in my opinion, by any university, especially with a coach like Nick Saban.
And when we return, everyone, on SEC Media Days Live, we'll check in with a team that probably belongs in the Western Division, but they're in the East Division. We're talking about the Missouri Tigers. We'll hear from the head coach, Gary Pinkel, next on SEC Media Days Live.